Welcome to Celebrity Republic. If you're a fan of all things entertainment, this is the channel for you. From the latest gossip to lifestyle videos and more, we've got it all. Hit that subscribe button now to join the Republic and never miss a moment of the action. At the middle of the 20th century, Kathryn Kuhlman was a well-known evangelist and faith healer. She was born on May 9, 1907, to German immigrants Joseph and Emma Kuhlman in Concordia, Missouri. The youngest of 4 children, Kathryn's family was quite devout and regularly attended a Pentecostal church. She frequently went with her parents to revival meetings and prayer sessions, and Kathryn's mother frequently encouraged her to read the Bible and pray as she was growing up. Early in life, Kathryn struggled with illness and physical weakness. She had a multitude of health issues as a child, including heart disease and TB. She was frequently confined to her bed and unable to go to school on a regular basis. Kathryn had a strong trust in God and realized that she was called to serve Him in a unique way, despite her physical constraints. In order to provide Kathryn with better medical care, her family relocated to Denver, Colorado. When she was 16 years old, she went to a revival gathering there that was led by the future husband of her, preacher Burroughs Waltrip. Waltrip's sermons had a profound effect on Kathryn, and she started attending his services frequently. Later, she became an organist and singer in his ministry, and she started preaching herself. The wedding of Kathryn and Waltrip, which was attended by a large crowd, took place in 1933. They carried on their collaborative ministry work, touring the country and leading revival gatherings. They did, however, experience multiple separations over the years because their marriage was rocky from the start. In 1948, they eventually got a divorce. Kathryn rose to fame as a radio evangelist in the 1940s and 1950s, running a show dubbed Heart to Heart with Kathryn Kuhlman. Her emphasis on healing and the power of the Holy Spirit defined her ministry. She held massive healing sessions around the United States and other nations because she felt that anyone with enough faith could access God's healing power. Music and stories from those who said they had been healed thanks to her ministry were frequent features of her meetings. Theatrical preaching techniques like dramatic pauses, gestures, and exclamations were hallmarks of Kathryn's delivery. She also had a unique sense of style. She frequently wore white outfits and carried a white Bible. Others applauded her for her commitment to helping people, while some criticized her for what they perceived as an undue emphasis on healings and miracles. Between the 1940s and 1970s, Kuhlman conducted numerous healing crusades both domestically and abroad. She was one of the most well-known faith healers and healing pastors in the entire world. The healing ministry in Kuhlman was founded by Reverend Mother Amanda H. Williams of Brooklyn, New York, a pioneer for women in ministry. Williams had a nationally broadcast weekly TV program called I Believe in Miracles in the 1960s and 1970s. Also, she had a 30-minute radio program that was broadcast statewide and frequently included sermons and passages from her healing services, both music and message. Her foundation was founded in 1954, and the Canadian division followed in 1970. She backed the emerging Jesus movement in her later years and received the backing of Chuck Smith and David Wilkerson, 2 of its leading figures. She relocated to Los Angeles in 1970, where she provided healing services to tens of thousands of people. She was frequently likened to Aimee Semple McPherson. Despite not having any theological background, she rose to fame for her gift of healing. She made guest appearances at Pat Robertson's Christian Broadcasting Network, CBN, and on the CBN signature show, The 700 Club. As a result of their friendship, Paul Bartholomew, her personal administrator, filed a $430,500 breach of contract lawsuit against Kuhlman in 1975, alleging that she had hidden $1 million in fine art and $1 million in jewelry. She was sued by 2 former colleagues who claimed she had misappropriated money and unlawfully removed records, which she rejected and claimed were not private. Kuhlman claims that a settlement was reached before the case went to trial. The doctor identified a mild heart flare-up in her in July 1975. A relapse occurred in November. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, Kuhlman underwent open heart surgery as a result, and on February 20, 1976, she passed away. According to her biography, after she passed away in the hospital, a bright light was witnessed hovering over her lifeless body. Kathryn Kuhlman was laid to rest in Glendale, California's Forest Lawn Memorial Park Cemetery. In Concordia, Missouri, a city in central Missouri on Interstate Highway 70, there is a plaque in her honor in the main city park. She left a contentious will after passing away. The majority of her wealth, $267,500, was bequeathed to 20 of her employees and 3 family members. 19 additional employees received smaller bequests. Her colleagues were upset to find that she did not give most of her fortune to the charity, as she had done under a previous 1974 will. According to the Independent Press Telegram, the Kathryn Kuhlman Foundation persisted, but in 1982 it stopped broadcasting nationally on radio due to a lack of financing. The foundation ultimately shut its doors in April 2016. At the middle of the 20th century, Kathryn Kuhlman was a well-known evangelist and faith healer. But her work was not without controversy. Kuhlman endured criticism from a variety of sources throughout her career, including the media, certain members of the church, and even the general public. She was the subject of debates on her lavish lifestyle, her relationships with men, and her emphasis on healings and miracles. Extravagant way of living. Her lavish lifestyle was one of the main complaints directed at Kuhlman. She was renowned for her pricey accessories, apparel, and vehicles, and her residences were frequently opulent and lavish. Some believe that her way of life was at odds with Jesus's teachings, which emphasized humility and serving others. Kuhlman defended her way of life by claiming that she had worked hard and devoted herself to her ministry in order to acquire her money. She stated that in order to be taken seriously as a female preacher in a field dominated by men, she needed to be presentable and competent. She also mentioned how liberally she gave to charity and supported many organizations, such as orphanages and missions. Despite her justifications, many people continued to be dubious about Kuhlman's way of life, and some even accused her of abusing her position in the ministry. She was being criticized for allegedly taking advantage of the ill and weak, and utilizing their pain to advance her own reputation and money. Kuhlman's private life was likewise a source of debate. Partnerships with guys. Burroughs Waltrip, another well-known evangelist, was the man she was married to, but their union was fraught from the start. During the years, they went through multiple separations before becoming divorced in 1948. Kuhlman had a number of amorous liaisons with other men after her divorce, including a well-known football star and a billionaire businessman. Her relationships drew criticism from some people who claimed that they were unsuitable for a Christian leader. Some argued in her favor, stating that she had a right to privacy, and that her personal connections had no influence on the work she did in ministry. Yet, when claims of sexual misconduct appeared, the controversies surrounding Kuhlman's personal life intensified. She was accused of having sex with male coworkers and other people by some former coworkers and colleagues. Despite the fact that these accusations were never verified, they damaged Kuhlman's ministry and her image. Concentrate on miracles and healings. The emphasis Kuhlman placed on healings and miracles during her ministry was another contentious component. She held massive healing sessions around the United States and other nations, because she felt that anyone with enough faith could access God's healing power. Music and stories from those who said they had been healed thanks to her ministry were frequent features of her meetings. Kuhlman's emphasis on miracles and healings was criticized as being misleading and possibly harmful. They claimed that it encouraged people to turn to faith healers rather than doctors, and gave people false hope. They also emphasized the fact that not everyone who attended Kuhlman's healing sessions experienced healing, and that some even got worse as a result of their involvement. Kuhlman's supporters contended that her emphasis on healings and miracles was driven by her faith and her conviction in the authority of God. They made note of the numerous persons who claimed to have had healings thanks to her ministry, and the lasting effects these healings had on their lives. They said that Kuhlman considered herself as a conduit for God's healing power, rather than as a medical expert, or as having the power to treat all diseases. In conclusion, a contentious figure in the realm of evangelical Christianity, Kathryn Kuhlman, her concentration on healing and the power of the Holy Spirit defined her ministry, but she also drew criticism for her luxurious lifestyle, her relationships, and her focus on healings and miracles.
Join the ultimate celebrity fan community by subscribing to this channel, Celebrity Republic. Get the latest news, interviews, lifestyles, and exclusive content from your favorite stars all in one place. Don't miss out. Subscribe now.